go. We are live from Missouri. It's Sunday midday with Josh.
Yo, yo, yo.
And well, but that's not going to be the intro, Josh. I was just doing a Saturday Night Live kind of thing.
Oh, well, it wasn't that good.
No, well, it's Saturday Night Live, so it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not that good.
That's fired.
Are you gonna? So Josh and I both write reviews for Game Chronicles, which is very misleading. It's not the Video Game Chronicle, which is the well-known like UK news site. Game Chronicles, which I think that's an SEO game right there that he's playing with that. Like hoping that someone puts an S at the end is like they're gonna come to the site.
Hey, with the most recent views I had, I would say so.
Yes, Josh it's Infernax, right?
Infernax, yeah.
Infernax, which the irony is Josh loves Castlevania, so the fact that one of his reviews is 12,000 plus views right now.
Yeah.
So hats off to Josh. Josh, remind me and I'll put a link to the review in the show notes. I haven't read it yet, but 12,000 other people have, so I'm the asshole.
I mean, I wasn't expecting that. Like I said, I don't know how many people go upon random websites. I mean, I know I did when I was looking around just to see what the game would look like if anybody did like a preview before I said, oh yeah, I'll do the review. But
go ahead.
But I was gonna say I didn't see too many on there, so it's like maybe it's because it's maybe it's because it's not a huge AAA title or a big company doing it that it makes people flock to it. Like they hear about it and they're like, oh, I heard really good things. And honestly, playing it, I absolutely loved it. And I'm like, I've said this before, I'm going to keep saying it. These past few years and going forward is definitely the year of the indies because they're doing things. I get it. We're all tired of all these AAA companies just screwing us over, giving us all these promises, and then downgrading it completely or giving us something that's not even what was on the board.
Josh loves Battlefield 2142.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, I signed the petition. Okay, I want my money back. You know me, I love Battlefield. I never shut up about it.
Well, and I think what happened is you had a review copy early, and I think you might have been like one of the few like website reviews because I don't think other reviews started popping up for it until it went on Game Pass. I think like a week or two ago.
Yeah, so like when I put it up just out of curiosity, I think I only saw like 4 or 5 websites, and even then, this is not flacking at anybody. This is just in general. The writing wasn't that good. There's a lot of misspelling. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I have Grammarly on my computer, so I at least feel like I'm doing better than most.
And I do think there's a clamoring for better like gaming like type news websites that aren't IGN, Kotaku, or Polygon. Like people want smaller sites.
Yeah, I mean those people. I mean, to me, I see it all the time because it even says in the very bottom, in very tiny print, we got compensation for this review, or we get compensation for this. And it's like, I don't want that. I didn't get paid anything to do it. I got a free game. That's the closest I got to paid. But even then,
like I'm of the mind, like I'm building samples. So like eventually when someone wants to pay me money, like here's what I can do for you, friends. Like, and yeah, right. Like getting the review copies, sweet. Like, well, it's sweet, but it's also overwhelming right now. I'm sitting on three reviews. One I don't think I can talk about. The other one's being Total War, Warhammer 3, which I'm like, that's gonna take so much time. And then Sessions, which is like a skateboarding sim, which I've started and I'm really bad at. True to game journalist form, I'm really bad at it. Like, it's tough.
Yeah, so like I can see the need of all these smaller companies, reviewing companies to get more views, but at the same time, like 12,000 plus. I was never expecting that. Like someone could have told me, oh yeah, a couple thousand people read it. And I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's still pretty cool. But 12,000 plus, I was like, holy crap. 12,000 people read my review and were like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go.
Just be thankful it's not there's no comment section on the site. Or is there? I don't know.
There is. I think it's after each article there's a comment. There's a comment
Don't
section.
Just stay out of the comment section, whatever you do.
Yeah, I'll just stick to my review burns here and not at the website.
I'm just gonna start copying and pasting all Josh's reviews into my Steam reviews. Steam reviews got the comedians are out there in the Steam reviews.
Someone, I was speaking of Battlefield 2042 and reviews. I was just curious to see how many people are online. I saw there's like 3,000 yesterday. I'm like, oh, that's pretty. It's gotten better, but it's still terrible. And one of the reviews, it was a thumbs up. It had 9 hours, and it's like, my God, the best day of Battlefield ever. I literally masturbated in between sessions and had the best time of my life in between games.
What the
I felt I was just like, okay, that's ironically funny, but at the same time, that's sad that you're able to bust a nut in between
This just became
games.
an explicit episode, Josh. I hope you're happy.
I'm very happy. That's my goal.
What's so we are smashing game time. I don't know if you heard earlier. This is Nick right here. That is Josh over there.
Oh.
Today we are covering 2005, but before we do that, just a quick reminder, we are everywhere that you can get your podcast. Wherever. We're on the YouTubes if you want to see our beautiful faces. Josh's is stretched out right now because OBS is like, I'm going to stretch his face out.
It makes me look thinner.
He's the thin man from the It movie. I bet you didn't know that. We don't have a new review to read, but we got more stars, folks. More stars keep on coming. If you love the show, if you love what you're hearing and seeing, go ahead and head over to Apple Podcasts, rate and review. We will read your reviews live on the air on radio. Now I have to put an ASMR warning in there as well. What else we got here? And then last week we did the Metal Gear Solid recap. Next week we'll be doing another recap that'll be decided with a quiz at the end of the show. I'm pretty excited about this quiz. Let's not spoil it right away though. Let's let it simmer,
We'll save it.
All right. I think we did everything we need to go through. We did all the talking points. Josh, let's do 2005. What you say?
So remember how we say each week, like, oh man, this is a real banger?
Yeah.
Honestly, this week was less of a banger. I mean, it was still like, oh, that's interesting, but it wasn't like, oh my god, this year, wow, it was so good. Like, console-wise, yeah, I mean, of course, there was a lot of huge news and it was interesting, but game-wise, it was like,
I don't know. I'm looking at like the front part of this year, and I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. So
yeah, I would say the front half is probably like it was like the big bang for the buck, and then at the end of getting towards the end of the year, it's kind of like it simmers down. It's like, okay, I mean, it has like bits and pieces, but not everything's on there. But to start off, is my favorite of all.
Resident Evil 4. Yeah, I'm surprised that. I was very surprised. I forgot this was 2004. I didn't realize it was that old.
Well, do you mean 2005?
I'm sorry, 2005. Yes, you are right. Oh, and I have to fix my screen here again. I'm sorry, everybody. Make a podcast, they said.
It'll be easy. Yeah, so January 11th, like literally one of the first games of the year, we get the GameCube Resident Evil 4, which, I mean, obviously to this day, we still can't get enough. I mean, we're getting... there's an HD fan-made game that they just finished that apparently everybody won't shut up about. We had the VR for the Quest 2, all those. We're getting the remake of 4 here probably within the next year or two.
And you heard they're focusing on the horror aspect of it.
Yes, so it's like it's probably going to be, if I heard correctly. Remember the trailers, the original concept trailers they released of it, where it's like Leon was going through the castle and he have like all these shadow beings that attack him.
There were like these blue like guys. There was like one with like a chain, remember the Yu-Gi-Oh card Kunai with chain? It basically was a Kunai with chain.
Yeah, so if I heard right, that's kind of like the feeling or the atmosphere they're kind of going for, is a really dark themed. Which I let's face it, Resident Evil is not known for its action. Like right here is like the perfect in between, because like this is like something new during the daytime. Camera is third person, so and you can actually do headshots and stuff, something you couldn't do in any of the other games besides like Dead Aim, and I think Survivor was the other one.
Oh, this was the golden cow. People were like, oh hell, like this, like the cameras are gone, this is awesome. Like I for one, like first of all, the tank controls are still there, so I was never a fan of those. But like, yeah, like it's a kind of actiony. But the horror elements were still in this one. Like the first time you walk into the village and hear a chainsaw, you are in the castle. Like at one point you're in the castle and you're getting chased by one of Sadler's, like, or whatever the little guy's name is, like one of his little bugs, like terrifying. Mm-hmm. Or the Iron Maidens. The Iron Maidens in this are terrifying as hell.
Yeah, I mean, literally, this is like, it was like the perfect, we're going to add something new to it, and we're also going to keep the horror aspect, and they did a great job. And then five obviously is where it went downhill, but that's for a different time.
Did you and I? No, I think I might have played it with a roommate. I thought you and I played 5 together.
I no, I don't think I played it there. I know I played it with Matt, but no, I don't know if I played it with you.
5 was okay. It was one of those things where you had to play it with somebody else, or you're just like, this is
The AI
booty.
is terrible. I mean, it's the same thing with 6 too, but once again, those are whole different stories.
Right. Next up is a game that is like on my backlist. January 25th, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath was an OG Xbox original. I think, I'm sorry, exclusive. I think this was like the last major Xbox exclusive, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, because I think from there the next one was it was like third or fourth gen, so PS3 and 360s, and it was the Oddworld. It went back to A basically. So
I thought this like what I've played of it. I've played a little bit of it. I thought it was a great blend of the platforming. It kind of has a Crash Bandicoot vibe to it, platforming wise, and then the gunplay, like the living ammo, was a lot of fun. I don't think I've seen anything like that since this game, so it's crazy to me to think that it's kind of like it's kind of like the Nemesis system from those Lord of the Battle for not Battle for Middle Earth, whatever those Lord of the Rings games are called.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Shadow of
But
Mordor, there it is.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just
Shadow.
nobody's like I haven't seen anyone do it, and I wish they would do it.
No, honestly, and I thought for sure. Like, I don't know. I've never. So I played like maybe a couple minutes of this, and it's on my list of things to play too. And I don't. I'm assuming they set it up for there could be a sequel or there could be more to it. And I'm surprised they haven't done that because I remember when this came out, it was like one of the games that you would hear for months about how great it was, all the cool stuff you could do in it.
And it's got
Just the
apparently got a
quirky things.
surprise ending, like, and it's very removed from the rest of like where Oddworld was at this point, because the rest of it was just like Abe and Munch and like escape. Oh, cat just knocked over a poster, and just escaping the factory, and like this is just it's a very different tone. I like it. It's sitting in my Steam backlog, waiting to be played.
Yeah, and even then, so I couldn't find a really good version of the original. So this is what you're seeing now, if you're watching it on YouTube, is the HD version. Which even then, like obviously, you take a game that's older and you give it like the HD, and I'm putting in quotations there, HD remaster. They're not really HD remaster. They picked it up, touched up a little bit, give it that little bit, that modern kiss, just to make it look a little better. This looks phenomenal for a game that was released in 2005.
I will say the tutorial is really boring. That's the part of the game I've played probably like 4 or 5 times. either be
I
it
think you can skip it.
either be it a demo at a like a GameStop or something, or just booting it up on Steam. I've done it 5 times now, and it's just like, I want the real thing.
Yeah, I think you can skip the tutorial though. But anyway, I digress.
Let's see what's up next. So we go into February. Shadow of Rome. I remember this Shadow of Rome. We don't have a video for it. It's like third person. It's kind of it's muddy looking. It's like very brown and grating.
Yeah, none of the videos I could find were good quality. That's why we didn't pull it up. But I do remember it, and I remember it was also one of those games that people, not in a good way, but like just in general, talked about it. So it had hype at the time.
Who do you know who developed that?
Not off the top of my head, but I can look real quick.
So while you're looking that up, sticking to February, we have a double entendre, not double entendre, a menage a trois here with Nintendo with two big releases.
Capcom.
It was Capcom.
It was Capcom.
I had a feeling it was. I had a feeling it was either Capcom or Konami.
I thought Konami for a second, but anyway, yeah. So February 14th, same day releases, two different consoles. Star Fox Assault for the GameCube.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm pulling up the video, everybody.
I think it was the GameCube. No, Wii. It was the Wii.
No, it was no. You're right. It was GameCube. Like this is
Okay.
just someone playing it on the Wii.
Okay, I was like, maybe I couldn't remember because at this point, like, I know we're getting to the point where it's close to the being release, and I keep telling myself it was 2005, but I know it was until 2006. So, GameCube, it was the second or third because I think it went. We had the
This was the second because Star Fox Adventures came out, and a bunch of people
right.
were pissed. They're like, "Who put Zelda?" Like they're like, "We like Zelda, but who put Zelda in our Star Fox? What the fuck?"
And I think this came out, and people are like, "What the fuck is going? Land ships? What is going?" People were losing their minds.
Did people like the land ships?
It was hit and miss. Like, obviously, it was a concept before this because when they released that Star Fox 2 game that was never released on the Super Nintendo, it was already in there. So, like, it was a concept that they had. They just had never.
They were just finally like, let's try it. This on foot part here looks really bad.
Yeah,
It
honestly,
looks rough. He's skating.
they did Fox McCloud dirty with these games.
Fox.
I enjoy. I don't care what people say. I enjoyed Adventures enough to be able to play it and enjoy it, and there was just enough ship action in there, so it's like okay, it's fine. But they did him dirty with this. This and the next one, they did him real dirty.
The only reason Fox survived GameCube and the Wii was because he was like a favorite in Smash, I'm guessing.
Yes, like honestly, I'm thankful that they were in his games and not Metroid games. So like, thank you for keeping Samus alive and not giving her like the shitty end. Like she's like so like if you're gonna do this, like he's in the bottom drowning in the mud, and she's like right on top of him, just holding on for dear life.
She's got her foot on his head, like,
Yeah,
get me out of here. I mean,
and it's not because people hate her, but it's just because Fox is.
Oh,
I mean, he
Nintendo
died.
hates Metroid. You have to put out more Metroid games to ruin Metroid, Nintendo.
Yeah, don't give them the idea.
Well, they already tried it with Other M, Josh. They tried it and they did not succeed.
Yeah, they brought it back with Dread though.
So WarioWare Touch came out. That was the 3DS version of it, same day as the
Nope.
Star Fox.
DS.
But it's called Touch. Wait,
Yeah, the DS was touchscreen. You said 3DS. 3DS
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
until like later on.
They're like the same thing. That like I hear DS and 3DS.
Well, we had the DS, the DS Lite, the DSi. Then we had the 3DSs.
Well, it's just like when people talk about the Game Boy Advance. Like I know most of the time when people are talking about that console, they're talking about the SP. But when you're talking Game Boy Advance, you can talk the first Game Boy Advance, the SP, and then the Micro. It drives me crazy that like Nintendo's like DS, and then its sequel, the 3DS. I'm like, no, they're just both DSs to me.
No, but you keep those in time, like you do the DS, DS Lite, and DSi. Those were all basically the same thing. Then you get to the 3DS. Yes, you could technically, I guess, play the games on there, but it's still different because you can only play certain 3DS games.
This is the era of Nintendo where they were splitting hairs for me. 3DS, DS, tomato. Fuck you, Nintendo. So this was for the DS. This was the second WarioWare game, I feel. Second or third?
Yes, I think it was the second.
And if you've seen a video of a WarioWare game, you've seen this one. I think you had to blow on this one too, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, you had to blow on this one. I think this was like the first true multiplayer one too, where you could actually play, go online and play with people.
Nothing grosser than blowing on your Nintendo DS. Moving on, February 15th. I forgot they did a Constantine video game. I completely forgot.
Yeah, same thing. It's just really dark, no good quality videos. There's not a point. It basically, everybody knows what Constantine is. It's a 17-year-old movie at this point. Actually, it's probably 18.
It's an okay movie. It's a good
movie. I mean, you got Keanu Reeves first off. That's great, and he's playing a Marvel character. Like, yeah, you have me.
You had a young Shia LaBeouf.
Not Marvel, DC.
I think Shia was fresh off Holes, or he was getting ready to be in Holes. That's not me being nasty. The movie is called Holes.
Well,
Holes. But yeah, Shia, not so good anymore. February 22nd, Gran Turismo 4. Now, this is the one where I feel like people are really mixed on it because I think, was this right around the same time as Forza?
No, I don't think Forza was.
Because
Forza was 2006.
Forza 1 was an Xbox original, so I think this is the year of Forza. Double check that year, but I'm pretty sure. So Gran Turismo and then Forza. Gran Turismo was making all these promises, and then I think none of them came to fruition. I think Gran Turismo 4 was supposed to have damage, and then it ended up not having it. And then Forza came out and had damage, and it kind of like took the wind out of the sails of Gran Turismo 4. This might have been a childhood dream, but
it is 2005. You're right.
When did Forza come out? What month?
Forza Motorsport came out May 3rd.
Yeah,
2005.
So this came out, and then Forza came out a few months later. We'll get to it here down the list, but
I don't think it was on the original list.
It's crazy to me. Like this is kind of where you start to see the shift of like, oh, Gran Turismo is not what it used to be, and it just coming right at, because 2 and 3 were the high points, and my cat's on my screen, so I'm sorry if anything messes up here. But yeah, it's just crazy to me because 4 was plagued with delays and stuff.
Yeah, so looking at the list, Nick, it wasn't even actually on the Okay, so everybody, we figured it out. They have a mentionable list, so like it has like a bunch of huge names and everything and a couple of unknown names, so we've been using that on Wikipedia. They don't have Forza on there. I mean, I'm assuming it's because Forza didn't really kick off until Forza 2 came out for the 360.
You know, I know what the issue is. The people throwing these Wikipedia pages together are ponies.
Are you saying we have to go in and fix every year from
We
now
have
on?
to go in and fix every year. We are now. We
Is that
now
the
have
thing
to
I'm gonna
ask
have to do?
everybody for $3 randomly. Hey, if you give me $3, this Wikipedia page would be a lot better, you asshole.
Yeah, guys. So on top of reviews, if you can just donate $3, Nick's gonna put a link down at the bottom. If you could just send us the money, that would help.
Wikipedia, we're gonna make it better. Make Wikipedia great again.
Yes.
February. Wow, this is a long February. Tekken 5 came out February 24th. Was this PlayStation only, or did this come to Xbox as well?
This was PlayStation only.
Really? Okay, I guess we're still kind of in the era where a lot of second party stuff was going PlayStation first, and then later on it might have come to Xbox, but most of the time not.
I think with six was the first one that started branching out.
Okay. This looks like it's a little, it looks old, but like it looks fine. It looks like Tekken to me. Oh, we're not getting any gameplay. It's just a big opening scene.
Oh, skip to the very, basically like three quarters. Yeah.
I love it when the videos, like the gameplay doesn't hit until the end of the video. It's what I'm here for.
Like all the other videos were okay, but it was somebody talking. And I've said this before, guys. We try to have videos with no talking because we're sitting here listening to it and we're just like, we don't need commentating as we're commentating.
If anyone's going to talk, God damn it, it's going to be us.
My God, it's going to be us.
But
yeah,
it's going to be us.
I watched the video. I'm like, okay. I saw at the end that it had stuff. And I'm sat there as I'm getting the links together. And I actually sat and watched the whole beginning video. And I forgot the whole shtick with this one is they killed, spoiler alert, Hiroshima, whatever his name is, the main guy who's been the main bad guy since like the first one.
Oh, yeah, the guy who was in Tekken, or yeah, the guy who was in Soul Calibur 2 for PlayStation.
Yes. Like, honestly, if there's a series I'm more confused with anything, I've watched just plenty of videos to try and understand the plot. It's Tekken. Like, they die, then they're back alive somehow, then they died again, and then they are demons, and now someone's not a demon. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense at all.
Well, thank you for spoiling it. I was totally going to try to get it, but not anymore, Josh.
You can still play. I didn't ruin anything besides like one point of the main plots of several plots.
Rounding out. Oh, this was a leap. No, this wasn't a leap year. Last year, 2004 was a leap year. February 28th, Fight Night Round 2. I don't think people really got on board with Fight Night until round 3. When
they did, but it was like still, this was like one of the only boxing games at the time. Like there were, like if you looked at like at this time, you had like 3 different baseball games, you had 3 different football games, you had 3 different basketball games. I mean, you had all these where if you looked at like a boxing game, this is it. Like even now, there's not a boxing game out there.
But do you remember how great 3 looked in all the like PlayStation 3 demos that like people were like,
yeah.
"Oh my God, the PS3!" Like people were losing their shit over Fight Night and Killzone. I feel like those were the main 2 people were like kept on going back to. I think the NBA games had like the sweat features too. People were like, "Oh my God, look at them glisten! Look at them!" People who like have never watched sports are like watching this like gameplay footage and like, "Oh my God, look at the future of gaming."
Well, in this though, they're looking at this card girl and they're like, "My God, she's so hot!" And it's like, this is like right now, if you think about it, this is the equivalent of Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, boxy cone.
That's like neckbeards right now losing their mind over Alloy having little facial hairs.
I loved all the comments too. People are like, how do you say that you've never been with a girl without saying it? It's like, yeah, that's it.
I didn't buy a PS5 to play this bearded freak. It's like, dude,
clearly you've never been with a woman before.
Clearly you don't understand how hair works. Let me explain. They're going to be pissed when they find other places with hair. Marching on to the March.
Whoa. You forgot
an
important title.
Star Wars Republic Commando. Josh, are the Star Wars games about to become the new Mega Man?
Starting from this point, yeah, I think they do, actually.
You get 2.
Be happy. There was a couple of Mega Man games. I didn't even put them on the list.
I remember the footage of this. So this is Republic Commando, came out the same day, February 28th. I remember like a lot of the footage was like the Wookiee like throwing your squad around.
Yeah.
And this looks great. I mean, it just, to me, it just looked like another shooter on the Xbox. And the original Xbox was dripping with them. Just
Yep.
dripping. So like,
But this is also at a time though, like all the Star Wars games we were getting was all like there was nothing prequel. It was all the original three because at this point, I think at this point, Revenge of the Sith it was either just out or just about to come out. If memory serves
Revenge
me
of the
right, because
Sith was, yeah, it was
the
either
third one.
2005 or 2006.
I think it's 2005 because spoiler alert. I know we get the game later on in the year, but I just can't remember if the game was released in Tangent or not because I know people were complaining about the game and the movie.
Well, yeah, people were also trying to avoid spoilers.
Yeah.
Which
So like,
apparently that was like a big issue. Like, I don't play the game based on the movie. Like, yeah, no shit. No shit, it's going to have spoilers.
yeah, Rogue Commando I thought was really good. It's something that was I think if they could have kept going with it, they should have, but they didn't. Especially with the ending. Like everybody knows what happens at this point. So it's like you could do so much with it, but they just never did. It stopped there, and it's like why? I mean, Republic Commando was so good, and you had so much more you could do with it.
I do think Star Wars is would be a lot better off just in general if they got away from the Skywalkers. Like somebody,
That's what they're doing.
some comedian has a joke, or some comedian told a joke on a like a nightly talk show one time, and they're like, wait a minute, we're in space and we're following white people. And I was like, we just so happen to be following these 5 white people. We're in space. What the fuck? And like I look at it, I'm like, yeah, you're right. But yeah, like
He's not wrong.
why do we need to follow the Skywalkers and Rey and all them? Like,
So like that's where I agree with you. They need to get away from the Skywalkers, is what they're trying to do, and at the same time, they could have done just. I mean, Star Wars has so much content to it. They could have done so much. I don't know why they stopped the Commando. I think Commando was good. I think it deserves a sequel. So
I think well, because EA just announced Respawn's doing a bunch of Star Wars. I think someone should try to revive that 1313 game that got canceled all those years ago.
oh, is that the Bounty Hunter one?
Yeah, the one that
Yeah.
I think LucasArts was doing, and then they got bought up by Like it was right around the time they got bought by Disney.
That's right.
And
Yep.
then the game
I remember
got
because I
canned.
remember seeing footage of it and it looked really good.
Yeah, it would have been amazing. Marching into March, Brothers in Arms, Road to Hell 30. All I can say about that is war is hell.
War is hell.
War is hell, and it doesn't change apparently. So war is never changing hell. Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening. Now this was like a rebound because two was so. People not big on 2. Oh, we're getting the tutorial here for the controls. Here we go. And I remember this first level, like him in his shop, just like defending himself, being really great.
Oh, the scenes in this one were fantastic, and of course, it's Dante in his prime. Like before, like we didn't see like you had a little bit of talking, but Dante was probably like a little more serious. But this is where we finally start to see the jokester Dante, the one that everybody knows and loves now.
Yeah, after this game, I couldn't tell you who's in what because they got Dante, they got remake Dante, they got the other guy from 4.
Ignore remake Dante. The guy from 4 and 5 is his nephew. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Virgil's son.
Yeah, Virgil's son.
Bring-
Which, if you played the special edition of 4, it kind of shows you, not shows you how it happens, but it kind of like, you know what I mean? Kind of like hints at it.
Well, they're like, well, when Virgil fell in love with a woman, he planted her seed in her, and that's how he was. That's how the special edition just comes with a sex talk.
it's the DMC DLC basically, where it's all comic strips.
Oh God, that's what I want. I want my video games to make me read more. Thanks, video games. I appreciate you. There's another one on here. Let me pull it up.
Yes, there is.
Same day and date. Mortal Kombat Deception. Was this before? This was before 9. This is the last one before 9, right?
Yes. So this is the one that was exclusive to the GameCube.
This was not exclusive to the GameCube, Josh.
I'm pretty sure it was exclusive to the GameCube.
No, this was not exclusive to the GameCube.
Pretty sure.
I promise you, I can see the box. I can see the PlayStation box at Game Monster, Josh.
Okay, well then, but once again, the Wikipedia page has lied to me.
That's okay, Josh. That's what I'm here to fact check you. around
Yes,
every
please.
corner.
Well, okay. So Wikipedia is the devil, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have to find a new source because it literally is. It states GameCube. That's all it has
I
on
will
there. It
tell
doesn't
you,
even
like I
have.
tell my college professors, you can't tell me not to use Wikipedia. I will use it as a jumping off point, and I'll do my research with it and find other sources as well.
Well, clearly I need to do more research on my end. Can we just snip that part out where I look like a fucking moron?
No, we leave all the idiotic parts in.
Well, I feel more like an idiot because I sat here. I was like, I think it's a GameStop exclusive. And you're like, no, it definitely wasn't. I can see the box. And I'm like, shut up. I'm checking my stuff now. Okay, it is. Well, fuck.
It's staying. It's staying, Josh. This is the people
Well,
want the raw. They want the raw audio, Josh. We
well,
gotta give them the raw
I have to
audio.
complain then because I'm even looking at the Wikipedia right now. PS2 and Xbox released in 2004 of October, and it was not on our list. So we're gonna
Yeah.
stick to this one, 2005. This is the better version.
So yeah, it probably came out for GameCube later because GameCube was
It
getting that
did,
shit
March.
later. But man, Baraka looks amazing there as he's getting tossed off a building. Oh, kitty cat, get down.
Yeah. So moving on from Mortal Kombat, we go into March 8th, MLB 2006. I didn't put a video in there because let's face it, guys, they're all the same.
I thought we weren't pulling any more sports games, Joshua.
I just put it on the list. I didn't pull videos.
This guy's
Come
padding
on.
the list out. Oh, Ernie's back here like
The animals are
exploring.
joining us. I got Mia on my right hand side, and you got Ernie on yours.
Ernie's like, I heard some motherfucker here thought this was a GameCube exclusive. He's like, do you need a new? He's like, do you need a new co-host?
He's about to kick my ass as a GameCube exclusive.
I don't remember this Pokemon Dash that you've posted.
Yeah, so March 13th, March 13th, Pokemon Dash for the Nintendo DS. I don't remember it either. I remember talking, but I don't actually remember seeing the gameplay of it.
What
And
are you?
as I watched it, I was very fascinated by it. I was like, what is going on? Basically, it's like a racing game from my understanding.
What is this? This looks terrible.
I think this is when Game Freak and everybody started to like branch out on different ideas. Like they're like Pokemon games and the Pokemon show are good, but let's try something different. They got
Guys, we
this,
have
and
this
it's like,
IP. Let's
why?
put all this shit out. That looks
Yeah.
bad.
So,
I'm
like this is the year they were trying different things, and you'll see it as we go forward.
Oh, Ernie's being lovey. The next day, Nintendo's like, hey, you like our Pokemon runner. How about, do you want to play Donkey Kong with drums?
Yeah, I actually don't remember too much on this one besides the drums. And I totally didn't realize it was like a whole entire game. Like I thought it was like you just follow beats, kind of like a Dance Dance Revolution thing, because it had been so long. And as I was watching the video, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like I remember seeing videos of it finally, but I'm just like, oh yeah, this is a whole game itself.
Yeah, I think it was like beat on the right drum to move right, beat on the left drum to move left. Like it was a whole.
Beat both to jump, yeah.
We didn't come from a household with Donkey Kong Jungle Beats money, but I'm glad we didn't because that would have been obnoxious.
It would have been no, like honestly, why? It was the only game you could like. There's other games I know people like. I've seen some people who have turned the drum beats into for games. I think someone did like a Dark Souls no deaths with it type deal.
I have a theory that this was Nintendo like knowing that the Wii was right around the corner, and they're like, we want to see what weird shit we can like come up with in the lab that'll like work on the Wii, and I think that's what this was.
Oh, this is like a let's max out the profit and see what weird shit we can get into.
Mm-hmm. Moving on out of beating off with Donkey Kong.
Jesus Christ.
Yoshi,
Yes.
speaking of getting touchy, Yoshi Touch and Go came out. Again, more DS stuff, not 3DS. I won't make that mistake again. Hey, Ernie. March 21, Time Splitters Future Perfect. Was this the last Time Splitters for a while?
I think it was for a hot minute. I didn't pull a video up because, once again, terrible qualities. Like, these older games, if they don't have a remaster or someone who, like, recently played it or had a hype for it, like, the quality is just so awful. Like, terrible. Like, not even, like, 10 years terrible. Like, you were just becoming a YouTube star terrible.
I look back at this time and I remember thinking, like, there are too many shooters. And that was, like... I'm sure like these series have people who love them, but it's just like it's just another shooter, you guys. Like calm down. Like nobody's this into Time Splitters. Watch all the Time Splitters come through and just review bomb the shit out of us.
These fuckers don't know what they're talking about.
Time Splitters fans, we're coming for you. Watch your back. Moving on into March 22nd, Dragon Ball Z Sagas. Was that the final Legacy of Goku entry?
Yeah, I think that was the final one. Yeah, because they got into the weird GT one, which got really weird.
No, actually, I think Sagas was after the because it was
Wait, no,
Legacy of
Sagas.
Goku 2, and then the next one after that was Boo's Fury.
So actually, Sagas may have been the that weird one where you played as like Future Trunks and all the characters. That may even be 360. I might have to look that one up just to be sure, but I've clearly didn't put a video in there, and I don't know why I didn't. But it's Dragon Ball Z. Everybody knows what's happening there.
I can't believe that. So up next was March 22nd. God of War came out. God of War. I can't believe God of War is 17 years old.
Yeah, I can't believe that either. And of course, everyone is not to be confused with the 2018 one. But
No, this is the 2018 God of War. Look at it. You'll look at it and you will like it.
I mean, this is technically it's the PS2 version, but in HD, not like the HD remaster made for the PS3, PS4.
He doesn't say boy in this one. He just bangs twins.
No, he just says Zeus a lot. And,
Zeus. No, he says Ares.
Well, in this one, he says Zeus too, and he also says Athena.
Athena. Oh, what's he say? Ares. Begone my enemies, and I will serve you. Tell you what, the fight where you kill your family is a tough ass fight. Or you protect them, but then like you end up killing them in the end.
Yes, that is a very, especially on the hard mode.
So tough. And you know what's crazy? This game got away with only having 3 boss fights, but they're like, I would argue there's like 3 of the best boss fights of the console generation.
Well, let's not also forget this is the first game where you can have interactive sex.
Excuse me, sir. Well, they took it out of San Andreas, if we're being honest. It was in San Andreas.
But yeah, so it cracks me up. Like at the time, San Andreas obviously was. I think at this point it hadn't happened yet because I think it was. I think it was the PC version they had the issue, or was it the Xbox version?
Hot Coffee. So this game came out in March, right? Hot Coffee was in May. It baffles me because there's the sex minigame in this, and then Hot Coffee comes out, and I know Hot Coffee. So you can't see the sex in this, but you are hitting you are basically Kratos' strokes. You were giving him mad strokes by pressing the circle button, and Hot Coffee you could actually see like the 2 characters hitting like not hitting but humping each other, and the one that people had issues with was the one where you could see it. I still think it's pretty hypocritical that Hot Coffee got more attention for it, but I think God of War did get a little bit of attention for it.
I'd see, and I don't remember, and I think it's because it got overshadowed by the whole Hot Coffee. But in my opinion, and it comes back to it all the time, and people can sit here and try to argue with me about it. It's rated M. They don't let kids buy these games.
Josh,
you as the adult buy these games.
Parents don't read. Parents do not read at all. Let me tell you
this. I know,
because
and that's my point though. Like, don't sit here and be like, "Oh, well, this game has sex." Yeah, this game is meant for an adult. So why did you buy it? Well, I bought it for my kid.
When I worked at Target, one holiday I had a parent come up to me. I shit you not, with a copy of GTA 5 and a copy of Minecraft for I think it was Xbox 360 or Xbox One of the two. And he's like, which one should I get for my 13-year-old son? And I said, well, Grand Theft Auto has guns and people killing people. Minecraft, you're just building stuff and being creative. He left with Grand Theft Auto, Josh. He left with Grand Theft Auto.
Hold on. You misled him. In Minecraft, you can kill people and animals.
Yeah, but you're not like shooting them. Now, if the kid mods guns into Minecraft, sure. But, oh my God, like the parents. And that kid's name? Albert Einstein.
He went back through time, or
he went back. Albert Einstein, just he's his own. It's a weird time travel thing, but yeah, God of War. This boss fight with the Hydra is great. Same with the Minotaur.
Honestly, great game in general. People can complain all they want. I loved it. Loved all of them.
I think overall great series.
Yes.
Moving down the line, Luminous. It's a puzzle game. We're not going to click the video for Luminous.
Yes, I just put it in there for people who may not know. But yeah, this is kind of what started the whole bringing Tetris back kind of deal, sort of.
Hey guys, we're bringing Tetris back. There's the one. Hey, we're bringing Tetris back. And you're like, why?
Why?
Why are we doing this? Is your grandfather talking? Is your grandfather telling you to do this right now?
Am I a punk? Ashton Kutcher, where are you?
Ashton, are you in here? Metal Gear Acid. I never got to play this. I didn't have a PSP. It looks fine. It's a card battler.
It's okay. I mean, I never played it. I never actually watched videos for it before, and then I was watching this one. I'm like, this looks weird. Like
Super. Like you just saw those dolls.
Yeah, not Kojima weird. This is like it's in the title. You're literally on acid weird.
And they were on enough acid to eventually do a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah. See, because I always thought the acids were straight up multiplayer. I didn't realize they were card based.
We should find a way to play these, Josh. Let's like get a jailbroken Vita.
I have a PS. Well, no, I gave Matt the PSP. I have a Vita here. I can just put it on.
It's just that's very weird because I also felt that was around the time like because from MGS3, MGS4, MGS5, like every MGS at that point, Kojima was like, I'm done after this. I'm done after this. I'm done after this. And he kept getting pulled back in. I don't know how attached he was to these acid games, but someone was on acid when they made these.
I mean, he must not have been that much into it because he just, he only made 2. He was 2 and done.
I'm out. No
well,
more.
He made the first. He made the first one. He's just like, okay, I guess I'll make a sequel. And then he made the sequel. And he's like, all right, no, that's it. I'm done there. That's where I put an end to it.
He made the first one. He's like, all right, one more hit of acid, and then we're done. We're done. No more after that. March 24th, Twisted Metal Head On. I feel like every other list has a new form of Twisted Metal, Josh. What is going on here?
It was just a new thing. It was the PSP Twisted Metal. That's all there is.
Oh, I think I played this. It was bad.
Yeah. Once again, there was a reason some of these don't get videos. Either terrible quality or it's the same thing, just a different console.
This one only had the one thumbstick. It was terrible. Splinter Cell. I'm sorry, Mario Party Advance on March 28th. It's another Mario Party on the Game Boy. If you want to punish yourself. I imagine like someone who's into S&M. And they're playing Mario. Like they're playing like the Mario parties that like give you blisters. Like, oh yeah. Oh, that's the stuff. Safe word is toadstool.
Oh God. Oh God.
Moving on. March 31st. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. This is one of the only Splinter Cells I've played to completion. Completely climaxed with this one.
I'm not gonna lie. I think this honestly is probably the best one of the original trilogy.
How could you say something so controversial yet so brave?
And yet, in my opinion, I still think out of all, so in my opinion, it goes Double Agent.
I think Double Agent's the best. I think Double Agent's the best in the series. I think people get caught up on the fact that Double Agent was the first next gen entry, and they're like they want to blame it, like point out its faults. But I think story wise and just trying new things, like Double Agent was fine. If you bitch about Double Agent, like that's what ends up giving you like Far Cry's 2 through 6 being the same exact thing, because anytime the company tries something new, you bitch about it, and then you get Far Cry's 2 through 6.
But there was everything like about this game, the gameplay, the story. I think this was was this the first one you could actually shoot the lights out?
Yeah, I think you could shoot them out in 2. Don't quote me.
I know it. No, I know 1. There were certain lights you can shoot out, and some you couldn't. 2, I don't remember too much about. 3, I think, was you could shoot out every single light source basically.
This one also had the pistol that would you'd point it at it and
the EMP device.
Yeah.
And then also the first one to have multiplayer, the Spies versus the Mercenaries, which by far is the best multiplayer ever. I mean, who doesn't 2-on-2 running around trying to find the spies as the spies either try to incapacitate the mercenaries or complete their objectives?
Josh, I'm going to break your heart here. Pandora tomorrow had Spies versus Mercenaries.
No, I didn't know that.
Yep. 2 fact checks in an episode. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm willing to bet that's the whole reason Pandora tomorrow isn't totally like shit canned. I don't think it was to the level. It wasn't nearly as polished as this version, but I do remember it having.
Wait, was it online?
Yeah.
Because this was online.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Because Pandora tomorrow came out. What was that, last year? Well, 2004.
Yeah.
But
2004.
Yeah. So Xbox Live was up and running.
I did not know
I think
that.
if it
Oh,
didn't have any, now this one did have like a co-op campaign where you played as two spies together.
Secret Agent Bob and Special Agent
Secret
Steve.
Agent Bob and Special Agent. Oh, that series was so great. Thank you, X Play, for that great Chaos Theory series. We
Your
should do
hair
our
smells like ginger.
we should do our own version of that, Josh.
We should.
It's on
God,
Steam.
I did not realize that Pandora Tomorrow had multiplayer.
It's what I'm here for. You know, I have all this useless information up here. Like I could use some really like useful information, but no, like for some reason Pandora Tomorrow having that multiplayer mode lives up here forever.
And maybe that's my fault for not wanting to look at it or play because I was never interested in Pandora Tomorrow. The first one was okay. Chaos Theory I think is where it's like it's stuck in, and then I would continue to play each one as we progressed.
The story for Chaos Theory is so good. Like the what is it called? The Texas standoff or the Mexican standoff with your old buddy. Like he's got like a
Oh
silver
yeah.
Beretta and you've got your gun. Like, oh my god. I want to go back and play it now that I'm older and I might get more of the themes. Just because I feel like, oh god, am I Tom Clancy age now? Am I like, oh, I'm gonna go get a copy of The Hunt for Red October and I'm gonna read it
Well,
on the patio as I drink some whiskey and have a cigar.
I guess it's better to be at the George Clooney, the Tom Clancy age than it is to be at the what's his name? He did oh my goodness, to cut me out here. He just did a movie, not recently, but in the past few years. He's the old man who points the gun and shoots the kids. Like, you know what I mean?
Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood. It could be. It's better than me and Clint Eastwood age.
Listen
Like,
here, do
that's
you
next
think I
on the
fired
list.
6 shots or 30? Because this is a big fucking clip, buddy.
Okay, moving on from that terrible impersonation.
That was
April
that was
3rd.
awesome. That was an awesome impersonation. Doom April 3rd, Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil. This is the DLC, right?
Yeah, I think this was not exclusive, but at the time of release, it was only for the Windows version at the time.
Windows. Well, yeah, it was it. It was like, yeah, we're PC first. Actually watched a documentary about just the community around like old Doom, and I was like, oh man, that feels great. Like that sounds great. But you know, I'm too young to have been there for it. April 11th, Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. If you've ever heard the dub meme, just someone say dub anything, it's because of this freaking game.
I never understood the fascination of it either. Like, I don't like. If you're gonna give me one game and ask me to explain why everybody enjoyed it and talked about it and just all this. This is the one game I could never do that. It just to me it makes no sense.
I think it looks great for like a late PS2 game. And is he changing cars in the middle of the course? Look at this crazy guy. This cat is persistent. He's like, hey, pet me right now. Is this Vin Diesel? No, it's not Vin Diesel. I saw bald head and I got excited. I think this is because
You saw bald hair.
I saw bald head and got really excited. I think because like this is at the point in the Fast and Furious franchise where they're kind of like, oh, are we gonna keep doing this or are we not gonna keep doing this? Okay, I think Tokyo Drift would come out 2006.
Later that year.
It was either 2005 or 2006. Dude, am I allergic to you? I'm itchy all of a sudden. Oh my goodness. Moving on before I have an allergic breakout.
2006 Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift.
Yep.
Something Tokyo. Moving on. Psychonauts. Crazy to think we just got that sequel.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was this. Like, I knew it was Xbox, but I didn't remember it being this old. I thought it was like mid to old. You know what I mean? Like, no, that's right.
This feels
That's
right
yeah.
because I think this was published by the same guys who did that Advent Rising game. Who like they're having that $1 million contest and like the game was just so bad.
Yeah, because it wasn't like you had to like find the secret area and explain how you got there and everything.
Yeah, it's just this was a weird time. Like this was a weird time. Like I think of that and I think like of how bad things are with NFTs right now. And I think back to that Advent Rising game. I'm like, oh, that was kind of a precursor to how ridiculous things were gonna get. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get this beautiful. Oh, I clicked the end of the video. Oh my god, look at that man.
Have you played the sequel?
No, I've seen videos.
Okay. Like, I remember loosely some of the things in the first game. And as a kid, I guess I didn't appreciate it. Maybe I need to go back as an adult and play the original. But I don't know. I just remember it. Like, this is like one of those. It's probably too late for a sequel. I mean, like,
so I didn't like the original just because I didn't like the platforming. The jumping felt really like your character felt too heavy.
well, he has a huge head.
Well, duh, but it didn't feel like when you got other games like Ratchet and Clank coming out, the Jack games, Sly Cooper, like these were companies that were putting out platformers for years, and I don't think Double Fine was doing click and point adventures. Or I'm sorry, not Matt Schaefer. Tim Schaefer was doing point and click with LucasArts. I don't know what the overlap here with the rest of his team is, where they're coming from, but I think this is like new territory for him, and it kind of felt like it. I'm sure 2 plays much better though.
I would hope so, seeing as they've had 17 years to perfect their craft.
I remember being in grad school when that Kickstarter launched, and then I was just thinking about it the other day, like, damn, that Kickstarter was 6 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while, right? I mean, but the fact that they even got a sequel, I will give them. They obviously, they put the love into it, so good for them.
April 26th, Guild Wars came out. We don't have a video for it. That's a MMO, right?
It is. I didn't put it in there because, in my opinion, Guild Wars 2 is personally better. But at the same time, Guild Wars wasn't as big at the time. I don't think it became a big deal until just before Guild Wars 2 came out. And that's when like you started to see like the show, I think, that they came out with, and then the hype for it. Because I think at this point, WoW was. WoW was at this point, it was dominating.
WoW was new, but WoW was kind of like eating everybody else's lunch.
Yeah, I think at this point, like any other MMO was basically being destroyed. And there was like nothing left in their fan bases because everyone's like, "Oh, wow, have you heard about this new thing from Blizzard? Wow, it's so cool!"
And now look at them.
They're being destroyed slowly but surely.
May 5th, may the 5th be with you. Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith.
By the way, it's May the 4th be with you. Revenge of the 5th.
May the 5th be with you.
This is Revenge of the 5th, Nick. Come on.
May the 5th be with you. Don't argue, Josh. Do I have to fact check you again?
Do I have to backhand you again?
This is getting violent. I don't think we're allowed to threaten each other on. I think Apple calls and like they're gonna do a wellness check on me now.
They gotta find you first. What?
Apple? Help! I'm trying to click around and find the Grievous fight because I feel like that would bonkers.
Be. I think you passed it, or it's not. Okay, so this first is like they go to kill. What's his name? Count Dooku.
Do it.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. So like this part is that, and then I think it's like midway because where we just watched, I think it was Anakin killing the Padawans.
God damn it.
I mean, let's face it, they're not 5 years old, but 12-year-olds are still kids.
Is there a section where he gets to fight the sand?
No.
So I do really love that the old Spider-Man movies and the prequels are basically just memes now. Like I love that, like, yes, like Spider-Man 3 had its issues. Yes, the prequels had their issues, but they're kind of finding a new life as like just kind of like the community around them is just like shit posting. And yes. I think there's something really beautiful about that.
I still think my favorite things I've been seeing, especially from Spider-Man, is they'll be like, put your lips here, and then the girl will do it, and then it's Peter Parker as he's learning to climb, and he turns around, his butt's there, and he goes, "Woo!" my back. Oh, those movies, just the most memeable. Yeah, they're fighting Dooku here, and he's going to die. Spoiler alerts. An interesting thing with this one, this is the one where you could battle other Jedis and whatnot in the multiplayer. So you and a friend could go on there. One could pick Anakin, the other one could pick Darth Vader, and see who's the better Force wielder.
Wasn't the online like super broken though?
I think it was. I think it was like basically unplayable. If you wanted to do it, you had to do like couch co-op basically.
Yeah, I think Star Wars, like, once again, once you get away from like the Clone Wars and the Skywalkers, like, I think you can tell more interesting stories. Like KOTOR.
We're getting that soon. You'll have to come over.
That's PS5 exclusive, right?
PS5 exclusive. I have it.
Do you have Forbidden West?
No, I still need to get that.
Okay, I don't know why we're spring. We're
I
moving
don't know either.
into the middle of May, May 23rd. WarioWare Twisted. They got a second WarioWare. This is back when
Yes, this is
Nintendo.
Game Boy Advanced one.
It's another WarioWare.
Yeah.
Go look up the videos, you guys. You got the YouTubes.
Oh wait, is that the GameCube one? See, I'm getting confused because they had so many WarioWares come out at once.
Did it have a plug-in to the GameCube? Maybe.
What day is that? Is that May? You said
May 23rd. Don't commit to anything, Josh. I don't want to fact check you again.
Yeah, I don't want to fact check me either.
Check your facts. While Josh is looking that up, same day, Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones came out. This was the Game Boy one, right? Josh is gone.
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so both were Game Boy Advance, both WarioWare and the Fire Emblem.
That's a crazy good day for a console right there. 2 first-party exclusives. I remember because Fire Emblem, in America, all you knew of Fire Emblem was Marth and Roy, and they were sweet in Smash Brothers. And then they put this out, and I just remember wanting these games so bad.
Oh, even as an adult, I still want them.
They just look so much fun. But after playing XCOM and getting punished by that, I'm like, when it comes to tactic games, I'm like, I can kind of just watch it and be the eye in the sky watching it. I don't need to play this. There's still
absolutely.
Fire Emblems are still like this, right? So like the Three Houses is like this, but 3D, right?
Yeah, so very similar concepts. Of course, they started to branch off into that Samurai Warrior stuff where it's 1 versus a million.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, they've only done like one of those. They're working on a second, but yeah, they're still turn-based, not third person, 3D overview type deal.
You're getting that Advance Wars remake, right?
Yeah, there's no question about that.
There's no question. Why is this even a conversation? Up next, we are breezing through here. Digimon World 4. Was that a fighter or was that like what was that?
That was, so remember the old PS1 ones where you had like 3 Digimon in your party and you kind of ran around?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, yeah, I think that's the same thing. Sorry. Because I know at one point Digimon did kind of branch off. They were trying to they were dying because Pokemon was like the go-to cutesy animal type deal, evolutions. So
they were trying anything.
Yes, they were trying anything. So yeah, I think this was
Digimon Konami?
Digimon was Bandai.
Okay, that makes sense. I remember the fighting game we had for the PlayStation 1, and I thought that was a great game. Like felt like a Smash Brothers, but like you were digivolving and all that. Felt great. Digimon, by the way, I think once you get into the 3rd or 4th season, has the better theme song than Pokemon.
I agree. Plus, I think they have the better movies.
Yeah, I agree too. That first Digimon movie, they had Smash Mouth in it. They had Smash Mouth.
They even I don't know if you've seen any like the newer stuff where it kind of follows the original cast as they're like getting older and losing touch to the Digiworld.
No, I haven't.
I've heard nothing but good. I haven't heard bad things, but I've heard basically like a mix of neutral and good things about him.
So nothing rough. No one's like, they're just destroying my childhood.
No, yeah, but it's like darker themes, and it's like it follows along with us. So it's like, okay, this is really interesting.
I was getting ready to say, could you imagine being the household that was like Digimon over Pokemon, Zune over iPod? But then I was like, wait a minute, this is me. I need to stop this.
You were all of that.
I was all of this. I don't like where this conversation's going. June 13th, moving further into June, Kirby Canvas Curse. This was a Game Boy game, Josh?
Nintendo DS.
Nintendo tomato. I guess the canvas should have been a dead giveaway.
I mean, we're in the point now where like you're getting end of life cycle for Game Boy Advance, and DS is hot. Like
DS is the hot new kid on the block.
It's the hot, yeah. It's the hot girl next door. Okay.
Oh, the with 2 screens. You know what? I was listening to a show and they were talking about like how bad old gaming advertisements were, like in magazines. I could imagine if Nintendo wasn't so family friendly, they would have had somebody with like 2 DS screens right here.
Yep. I could see
that. Back in that time, would have been terrible. June 14th, Batman Begins. I can't believe we're getting to the point where Nolan's Batman is going to be turning 20 here soon.
Yeah, it's depressing. Good, but depressing.
Yeah, let's move on. That's all we have to say about that. Let's move on. We could talk Batman all day. June 21st, Battlefield 2. Okay, hold on. Batman real quick. I digress. Do you see that the guy who played the Riddler is like, oh man, I'm having tough times? Like he like kind of like how like Ledger came out and was like, oh yeah, like did some method stuff that really like screwed with my head. It's just, are you a Batman villain if you're not having issues after playing a Batman villain?
I mean, sure, yeah, but at the same time, like the Riddler was like, they had like 3 scenes.
I mean, they're going for no. I'm saying like in the new movie that's coming out, the guy who played
Oh, I thought you meant the original. I was like, he technically only had like three
Jim
scenes,
Carrey.
and even
Jim
then,
Carrey's like, oh my god. No, Jim Carrey was an oddball his whole life, but the new guy was like, oh yeah, it took me some dark places, and I guess they're doing it like more of like a noir kind of like old ass Batman stuff.
right?
But I'm just like, what did you like? Just like read a bunch of riddles that fucked up your day? Like, what'd you do?
I'm confused. I guess we'll have to see the movie when it comes out to understand.
Hickory dickory dock, Batman. And then they call cut, and he's like, oh god, what do I? But no, like mental health stuff is serious. I'm just like the Joker, like you get it because he's an agent of chaos. But like when people think of the Riddler, they think of Jim Carrey's Riddler more than anything.
Well, yeah, he did honestly
Just
a
how
fantastic Riddler.
fucking goofy he is.
Yeah.
So I hope him all the well, and hope him a speedy like time away from Batman. I said we weren't going to talk about Batman. Look what I did. June 21st. Real quick rattle offs here. Battlefield 2, conquer, live and reload, and destroy all humans. That's a pretty solid June 21st right there.
I'd say of all three, Conquer, Live, and Reloaded personally, just because, first off, you get the original Conquer's Bad Fur Day, and you get the added multiplayer of
that multiplayer was pretty sick when you could find games.
Oh, I mean, honestly, just the fact that they're not making fun of, but their interpretation of D-Day in the universe.
Oh yeah,
like,
oh god, I forgot about that.
It's terrible, but at the same time, being able to play as a ninja running up the beach. I think it's actually still the beaches of Normandy. I don't know what
it is. That's like the one thing I remember from the remake.
But like they basically, you run up the hill, you're facing against the bunkers, machine guns, and all that, and then you get inside, and it's just like trenches, if I remember correctly, and the trenches are being filled with squirrels and teddy bears.
I remember the sound being really good on our fat TV.
Oh yeah, we had some fun with that one.
Destroy All Humans is really good too. I thought the level of the level of upgrading your alien, I forget his name. The voice acting is really good in it, and they liked it enough that they were like, "Hey, let's put it back out." And I think they're doing.
If I remember correctly, it was like the same voice actors who did Invader Zim, wasn't it?
Yeah, same guy.
Yeah,
I think it's Calypto. Calypto might be the guy's name, something like that. Too close to crypto, but we needed to say crypto once for the SEO, so we got it. Here we are. July 7th. I'm sorry, June 28th. Dead to Rights Reckoning. I think this was another Dead to Rights game. It was kind of like a Max Payne type deal here. I feel like.
I think Reckoning is the one they actually introduced the dog. I didn't bring the video once again.
I remember having a Game Informer with that on it, and it was like the coolest looking thing. But the game just kind of looked meh. It's
a very dark game as well. So any old recordings there was, it's not worth it.
The streamers were like, "We're not playing this. This won't get me the views."
This next one will. July 7th.
Killer 7. This was part of Capcom and Nintendo's deal for the exclusives, right?
Yes.
I don't remember if this ever went anywhere else. I feel like this stayed on GameCube. It might have went PlayStation. Before Josh fact checks me.
Hold on. Yeah, we're gonna fact check Nick. PS2.
Okay, so yeah,
I thought it was
brought
GameCube.
I thought this was cool. I think we should have more oddball shit like this, because Capcom's MO right now is just like remake our Resident Evils, remasters of everything else, and maybe we'll do Street Fighter 6. Maybe if you guys behave.
Yeah, this one was definitely one of their out there ones, but it was a really good out there one. I think I remember when I got stuck and I didn't know where to go, so I quit playing it.
It looks tough. It's an on-rails shooter, right? Yep.
To an extent, yeah. It's their take of it, so it's good. It was a lot of fun. I just remember there's one spot I got stuck on. Like I had gone through the whole entire building trying to figure out where to go. I was a kid and I didn't know where to go. And I said, "Screw it!" I just quit playing it.
He's like, "I'm done with this game."
It's not worth it.
Moving in further to July 26th, Harvest Moon, More Friends of Mineral Town. This sounds like an expansion, but I'm pretty sure it was just an OG game on its own.
It was a Game Boy Advance game.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's Harvest Moon, guys. It's Harvest Moon. Like in a time where Animal Crossing wasn't quite the giant yet, this was where people went for their farming.
Yeah, I'd say this got replaced by Animal Crossing, and Animal Crossing got replaced by what's that one everybody talks about?
Starpoo Valley.
Yep, Starpoo Valley.
Starpoo Valley. Add it to SEO. Ding, 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 ding. July 29th, Worms 4. People love Worms. I'm just like, I'm so on it. Like, it's more turn-based, but it's like a side-scroller turn-based. I'm just okay on it.
It's fun if you play with friends, but by yourself, it's like, eh.
It's like, what am I? Why am I playing this game with worms? I should go read a book or something.
Yeah.
August
The
15th.
same could be,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the same could be said with this next one.
I'm sorry. August 9th, Dragon Ball GT Transformation. Is that another? What? Talk me through this, Josh.
So, okay, think Legacy of Goku for the Game Boy Advance,
Okay.
but think that the sprites are bigger.
Okay.
Okay, so actually, think of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the old arcades.
The side scroller. Yep.
Yeah, think about that, but Dragon Ball GT.
That's not doing. I'm not a big fan of beat 'em ups.
I mean, that's what it looked like. I don't know if the whole thing was, but the 5 minutes I wasted of my life watching it, that's basically what it was.
And that's why we're not pulling it up.
Exactly. I originally had a video, and as I was watching it, I'm like, no, I'm not going to trouble anybody with this crap.
I'm not doing this to anybody. Next one, August 15th, is Geist, which was another weird one from Nintendo. Nintendo was getting weird, like on the GameCube here at the end. It's kind of like when an old person's in hospice and they're saying weird shit. That's what Nintendo was doing with the GameCube.
Yeah, they were just like honestly, but no, like the concept was great. The execution was a little weird. Like the whole idea of you being able to possess people or possess items, that was cool.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, then they took it a weird step with these boss fights. It gets a little weird.
I'd be willing to bet that the guys over at Arcane, when they were Arcane or id, whoever did it, the guys who made the newest Prey, probably sat down and played this game for a little bit, and then we're like, okay, yeah, we like the possessing of stuff and doing all that. Let's make Prey.
Let's see. It was End Space Incorporated who developed this.
Yeah, so I'm saying like whoever made Prey played, like they were like sat down and played this as homework to get ready to develop Prey.
What I'm saying is, I think that part of that team may have gone to them.
Oh, okay. Don't make me fact check you, Josh. I will.
I'm looking it up now myself because I'm like, I don't remember. Like, I remember it wasn't a well-known thing, but I know Nintendo published it, so it's like I know it was like a smaller company.
August 16th, iToy Play 2. I forgot about the iToy.
Yeah, it was weird because it said iToy came out before like I don't know. It was weird. And I'm not going to pull the video. Everybody, if you honestly, at this point, we're getting to the point where everybody's trying to get their own niche markets. You had PlayStation with its camera. You had Nintendo 64 with its microphone for Pikachu. You had the Wii with the nunchucks and motion play. And then you had the 360 and PS3 following all lines with another camera.
Oh, so. People were just like, yeah, it was just like extra money. But you also got a sense that they were like, oh, I hope this peripheral catches on so we can build more around it.
They tried to and all failed.
They all failed terribly. August 22nd, Advance Wars Dual Strike. It's Advance Wars. It's you probably have more to say about Advance Wars, Josh.
The Advance Wars, with more Advance Wars.
But with more. This is still on the Game Boy, right?
Yeah, this is still the Game Boy. It's just all they did was add more armies and a better, it's more stories. The graphics are a little better, more scenes. I mean, it was Advance Wars, guys. I mean. Other than when you watch the video and seeing it, like it's good stuff. Like honestly, it's the one game series that did not get enough love and attention, along with like Boktai. Boktai was another good series that just didn't get enough love. Like it got 2 games. Well, actually, no, Boktai got a couple of games, but
the sun wasn't in their hands, is what you're saying.
Well, Boktai got a little weirder. I think that's why it started to die out. But like this. 2-3 games top. I don't know for 2 for sure, but maybe 3 if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that.
Moving further into August, the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, which was a great open world with the Hulk. Like I remember watching gameplay of like buildings coming down, the Hulk jumping crazy. I think this was like a precursor to Crackdown, because now when I play Crackdown, I instantly think of this Hulk game, which is probably the only good Hulk game.
Yeah, only mentionable one at least. I mean, yeah.
August 29th, Dynasty Warriors Advance, because Dynasty Warriors is gonna be on everything, everywhere, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's coming for you. Don't look behind you. Dynasty Warriors is right behind. That was the sound of Dynasty Warriors snapping your neck. Josh is dead. August 29th, also, Mario Superstar Baseball. What sport won't Mario play?
Oh, yeah, this is the year where Mario did a couple new sports, like sports that nobody saw coming. Like we saw him do golf and race. That's it.
And it's baseball, guys. It's baseball. Josh has now put 2 sports games on this list. He is now banned from the podcast.
There's more than that.
Oh God. Oh, he's making edits. He's making edits. I'm lost. I don't know where I'm at.
No, you're not lost. I'm fixing it because I realized halfway through it that my lists weren't correct. So sorry.
Help me. I think they should do Mario Cricket, because I just latch on to sports that aren't like well known and like bring them to a new audience. Like I would play the hell out of Mario Cricket.
Okay.
Because I have no idea how cricket works, but anytime I hear cricket or see it, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Like I would play that game.
I think Mario did that with baseball in a lot of countries and soccer in the U.S. So,
yeah, because people are stroked about that soccer game that's coming out. Stoked. September 13th, we got a few. There's another Dynasty Warriors. It's right behind you, Josh. No. R.I.P. Josh. Armored Core 9-Breaker. I feel like Armored Core is a series that, like, the further into it you get, the less people like it. I feel like the earlier ones are better.
Yes, I know at one point it was like really good. I remember playing a couple of them thinking, oh, like first off, you get to build your own mech and fight in it. That sounds so cool.
Right.
But then as you get further into it, it's like, I guess it loses touch with reality. It's not what it used to be, or it's the same thing over and over again even. So
it becomes the Andy with Woody meme. I don't want to play with you anymore. Drop. And then Burnout Revenge. Again, like Takedown, like elevated that series. Revenge was just like, this formula works, put it out. I think there's an alternate universe where a Burnout has been put out every year since then, and I'm glad we don't live in that universe, because it would.
And then there'd be a universe that it came out every year and got worse, and then there's one that it came out every year and it got better.
Could you imagine that universe, and like the nerve of the journalist, like the title of the article or the title of the review would be Burnt Out? Fucking assholes.
That man would be hung for sure.
September 13th, we got 2 evil titles here. We got Evil Dead Regeneration and Medieval Resurrection. Is Resurrection the PSP entry?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and then Evil Dead was, I believe it's the one with the boomstick, like Ash is running around killing deadites.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then September 16th, I would argue is probably one of the best Mortal Kombat games that is not a Mortal Kombat game.
But it is.
But it is. It's a Mortal Kombat game, but it isn't. But it is. Shaolin Monks. This is the 3D beat 'em up featuring Kung Lao and Liu Kang.
Right after the first Mortal Kombat, plot-wise.
What is going on with this video, Josh?
I whatever you did to it, I don't know.
It wasn't me. Just show us the gameplay, you guys. Here we go. This looks fine. Doesn't look too crazy.
It was different, and I know it got like mixed reviews because you get like, you know, these people who want like nothing but, you know, side-scrolling fight to the death, whereas like this is like, okay, well, this is just adding a little story with different gameplay, and it doesn't look that bad, and it plays like a normal beat 'em up, so I'm not complaining either way. First off, it's Liu Kang doing bicycle kick for infinity, and it's his cousin throwing his hat around.
I want to learn how to bicycle kick. I think we have an idea for a series now. Watch Nick learn how to bicycle kick.
Watch Nick break his spine and be paralyzed from the waist down.
I tell you, Nick is dead. September 19th, DK King of Swing. Was this a dating sim? No, Donkey Kong.
Why don't you come over here, boy?
Donkey Kong, those aren't your keys. Your keys are over there. What? This is what kind of part? A bowl? What? A bowl party? Donkey Kong? No, that's my wife.
He's about to shoot you with his coconut gun.
No. Moving on. September 20th, Myst 5, End of Ages. I'm guessing this is the last Mist.
I think that is the last Mist. I'm not going to look it up to verify because there's so many Mists, but I think that's the last one.
Point and click, baby. Doesn't get more point and clickier than Mist. September 20th, we got a few here. We got We Love Katamari, which is the sequel to Katamari Damacy. X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse, which people love the hell out of those. They're like the top-down, like 4-player co-op beat 'em
It
ups.
was what's that Marvel one that came out for like 360?
It's not Marvel
Yeah.
United.
No, they had 1, 2, and then the third one came out for the Switch.
I'm blanking so hard on it. You'll have to look it up real quick.
Uh,
And then the last game on that day that came out was Ninja Gaiden Black, which is just the prettier the only version of Ninja Gaiden you can find now, because everything else is the source code is lost for that original, which is crazy to me. Do you remember what's called? Marvel United. I think it's Marvel United, or he's looking.
I'm looking it up currently.
So while he does that, let's see here. September 22nd, Ultimate Spider-Man. This was a pretty good Marvel year. Ultimate Spider-Man was the follow-up to Spider-Man 2. After
Ultimate
that game
Alliance.
did gang, but Ultimate Alliance?
Ultimate Alliance.
I knew it was like some kind of, hey, we're together.
Yeah, it was Ultimate Alliance before Ultimate Alliance was a thing.
People love those.
Yeah.
Ultimate Spider-Man was fine. Another city, like swinging, good time.
Peter Parker was weird in this one, though, in my opinion. That's why I put the video up. I don't know if you're like,
Oh boy.
if you're. So, I'm guessing it's based on the cartoon at the time.
He looked goofy.
He looks goofy. He's okay. So we all know Peter Parker's supposed to be like very smart, but he sounds like such a whiny little girl in this one.
We don't have the audio for you guys, but if you want to pull, they're fighting on a football field. That's not New York.
Not only that, but one of the things in this that I was watching it, he swings during the day in his Peter Parker like persona. So it's like
People would
What?
see it. People would see
yeah,
it.
people
Peter.
would see it.
Peter,
Even
what
with
are
the
you
hood
doing?
on. This Peter doesn't know what he's doing. I don't care if he's in high school.
It still looks pretty good for all these years later, though. I'll give him that.
I think the following year, the year after, is where we get our best Spider-Man. Well, I'll talk about it then.
Let's see. September 26th, Sly 3, Honor Among Thieves. Nice little goodbye for that series, which I think had a great run.
Wouldn't mind seeing a remaster of the trilogy. I'd play that. I'd pay $30 for it.
September 27th, we've got Far Cry Instincts and Tom Clancy 6 Lockdown. Ubisoft hitting hard on the 27th. They're just like, we don't care if they conflict. Put them out. Put them out. People will buy them both.
They did. I don't think Lockdown sold nearly as much as Instincts, but they made their money's worth for both.
All right, and then up next, we've got Pokemon XD Gate of Darkness, which I guess was like their Pokemon Stadium at the time.
Gale of Darkness, and yes, that was like that was the GameCube
Gale of Darkness. I'm sorry.
Pokemon Stadium. But this one wasn't just a regular battle your friends. This actually had a story to it.
This was Pokemon Arceus before it was Pokemon Arceus.
To some extent, but yeah, this was like if you wanted Pokemon Stadium, you got it. But with this, they also gave you your own Pokemon story, so you could actually, I think, capture Pokemon battle trainers, all that.
I mean, yeah, it looks like what's going on with that Golbat? That's scary. I'm clicking off this video right now.
You're worried about that Golbat? I was worried about that Lugia. He's black. That was the dark black.
It's a shiny Lugia. Oh my god, I didn't realize that was Lugia. I thought that was another Pokemon I had never seen.
Oh, that's a Lugia, bro.
How do you get a shiny Lugia?
You play the game, apparently. I don't know.
I'm not playing the game.
It's on my list of things to try out because I was one of those I was interested in, so I've got it on my list. I'll let you know.
Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow came out on October 4th. Things are getting heated here in October, let me tell you.
And this is such a good one, too.
Josh pulled the 2-hour video. That's how in love with it he was.
No, I couldn't find a 10-minute video, so they got it was a let's play.
That sprite is huge.
So yeah, this is I think this is right after Circle of Moon, where Circle of Moon kind of had like you could take abilities from certain things. This one has actually you killed the enemy a certain amount of times, and each enemy, I don't think it was each enemy, but a majority of them had like their own abilities. Where after you killed them and had percentage drop, you could actually acquire their abilities. So, like you just saw them pick up bats. Spin double right there. You can create tornadoes. I mean, like there's so many of them.
It kind of feels like they played a little bit of like they played Metroid Fusion. They're like, hey, we like the idea of like you absorbing the enemy, but what if we broadened it and like you took their powers?
Yeah, like this one was so good. Honestly, the characters in this one too are actually really good. I mean, it was so good that they made the sequel for the DS, I think, the following year or the year after.
This
And
looks
I
really
went,
great.
yeah, it looks really good, and the DS one is just as good too. Actually, both DS ones that we had were both fantastic. But it's
Um,
Castlevania. What's not to love?
Castlevania, Infernix. Go read the review. October 11th, SOCOM 3 and Serious Sam 2 came out. SOCOM 3 coming to the end of its life right there. Serious Sam, I don't know how serious Sam is. It's another shooter to me.
It's one of those fast-paced shooters. People still love it. I think this is like at its prime, though. I don't think it's nearly as big as it used to be, but yeah.
Wow, this is a loaded back half. Okay. Uh, October 12th, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Objection! You know the one.
Yeah, so in Japan, it was already a really big series, and I think this was like the first release internationally. So I don't think anywhere at that point we had seen it in like the US or even the Europe, UK, all that. Like it's it's just picking up, and it actually this is like at the time where uh, I think they possibly had an anime, and I could be wrong on that. I don't do my research on everything, guys. I just kind of pull it out of my ass at the
Josh is
time.
just pulling shit out of his ass. Who knew? Who knew, Josh?
Who knew?
But
I'm actually gonna pull
we
it up
love
'cause I'm
fact
curious.
checking you, so we're here for it. October 18th.
Yeah.
So I think by this time Xbox 360 was out. Quake 4 came out on October 18th. I remember like being infatuated with how good this game looked. And I mean it's Quake, so it's like super fast paced. I know Doom 3 had just kind of slowed things down, but it was like keeping it like, hey, this is our fast paced shooter. Even though this kind of looks a little slower compared to other stuff. I mean, you came
Yeah,
out.
so it was sorry to interrupt you. It was a TV. It was a film, TV series, and a video game series.
Ace
So I
Attorney
wasn't
was?
crazy. Hey, Ace Attorney was.
Jesus, I didn't realize it was that big. But you can see here, like, it was still kind of infatuated with, oh, it's got to be dark and dank and scary. Not my
Yeah.
cup of tea.
I mean, it was interesting, and I remember it was like the old Doom setup where like you once you finish the level, that was like the end of the level. It cut off, and then you started the next level. It wasn't like a continuation.
I just remember, like, watching the trailer of, like, one of the aliens, like, dragging somebody away and, like, oh my God, I have to play that. And then playing the first level and being like, this is fine.
But yeah, so going back to what I was saying earlier though with it, like with all the older games, for some reason, all of these companies were into the really dark backgrounds. And the only reason I kept that one in was because it was an HD like mod someone put in there. So it looks a little better, but you saw how dark that was. It's so
It's
dark.
so dark. It's like, guys, like, I'm going to start putting the darkness bar up to where I can see everything if you keep this up.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do the old boob tube where you put the brightness all the way up just to like be able to squint and kind of see something.
I think there's a pickup over there. I can't be sure. Also on October 18th, Age of Empires 3. People love those RTSs, myself included. Wow, a lot of October 18th here. Jack X Combat Racing because Nintendogs because Naughty Dog was like, "Hey, we finished a series. We got to make a racer." Still holding out for that Uncharted racer. Maybe one day. Oh my God! Also on October 18th, Shadow of the Colossus. I'd say one of the greatest games of our time. One of my favorites. I have it on the PS4. Still need to beat it. I mean, look at him. He's climbing a big old monster. You got to do that 18 times, and they're all different, pretty much. Josh doesn't have an opinion on this one.
I never got a chance to play it, even though I have it. I don't know. It looked interesting and its concepts cool. I read the story and it's like, okay, this is really interesting. That and the whole the Ico, like how they're intertwined.
And it's
Oh,
it's kind of peaceful. It's just like, okay, I'm not fighting other enemies. I'm just figuring out how to beat this boss. And there's just a lot of just themes wise, there's a lot about like man and nature and like your horse controls horribly, but it kind of plays into the themes of like man controlling nature and all that stuff. So I say anyone who has a chance to play it, just play it. It's great.
I give it a try. I'm still gonna give it a try. I don't have an opinion, so
I
it
don't
looks
have
good.
an opinion. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. I think this was the GameCube one.
No, I believe that was the Nintendo DS
Oh,
one.
okay. They're getting crazy. Like they weren't putting all these out, and then like Nintendo got a wild hair and was like, we need to put all these Fire Emblems out now.
No, that is the GameCube one. I'm sorry. That is the GameCube one.
Fact checked 3. We got you, Josh.
I said fake. Oh, wait, once again, so with Nintendo, we're jumping between 3 consoles. Okay.
This is true. Nintendo at one point had these 3, and they were balancing pretty good. October 24th. I don't know why this is on here. Mario.
No, this is like my whole Nintendo was like, I guess, out of ideas. Like, you know what? Let's throw in a Dance Dance Revolution of Mario. The only Dance Dance Revolution.
Nintendo got high on their own supply. I'm looking for the dancing part. Here we go.
Yeah, so it's literally Mario just you're seeing it. Like, it's something like you would think you get like a background of like something happening. Like you think it'd be like something playing in the background. No, it's straight up Mario just hand dancing and doing his spin jumps. And like, what the hell is that? He's side like
I'm taking this off my screen right now.
You're welcome for that.
This is cursed. This is cursed, Josh.
You're welcome.
October 24th also saw Liberty City Stories Grand Theft Auto come out, and then Nintendogs Best Friends. Handhelds were the craze. I remember Nintendogs being really big.
We had 3 copies of the Nintendogs.
We had 3 copies. Finishing up October 25th had Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, Civilization, what is that, 4? Resident Evil 4, looks like that's the PS2 port, and then Soul Calibur 3, which was PlayStation exclusive, I believe.
I believe you're correct on that.
And then heading into November. Yes. Score 1 for Nick. November 1st, Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1, which I believe was the console releases of Call of Duty 2. Castlevania Curse of Darkness. Is that the 3D one for PlayStation 2?
Yep.
And then Star Wars Battlefront 2, the beloved Star Wars Battlefront 2, not the one.
The only Battlefront 2 that we deserve.
The only one that we need. November 7th, Mario Party 7, The Matrix Path to Neo. I think Path to Neo was very hated at the time, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
November 8th, Gun. I'm going to click on the video for this one. I liked Gun. I thought it was very neat. I thought it was like a short little, like not too crazy Western. I thought the mechanics were fun.
So I absolutely enjoyed it. And then I remembered on the 360, they re-released it again. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And they had achievements for it. And you know how I was for achievements. I'm a hunter when it comes to achievements.
He's a hunter.
And I remember beating it on the hardest difficulty that you could. I think it was hard, and once you beat hard, you get very hard.
Did your achievement bug?
Oh, no, it didn't bug. I found out when you play it, you have to do each difficulty to get each difficulty achievement rather than just doing the one and then give you the other ones. So you had to play it 5 times to get every single one. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to play this again. I never played it.
Look at that horizon. Look at all the... No, it looks terrible now, but it was a fun game. I enjoyed it. It was Activision trying something new that wasn't Call of Duty. Moving on.
It was good.
Some Beautiful Joe games came out. I think those are both beat 'em up fighting games at that point. November 14th, Mario Kart DS, which was basically Mario Kart 64 on the DS.
Yep, first online. Well, okay, so we talked about this before. They've had online since the Super Nintendo. It was a little weird because Super Nintendo was just like DLC stuff. Nintendo 64 really didn't have anything spectacular. I think it was just more DLC stuff. The GameCube had multiplayer online, but it was super weird and finicky. You had to have a special device. No one bothered with it. So this was like the true first instance of Mario Kart multiplayer.
And it was fun when you got it to work. We were dumb kids, but we ended up making it work somehow.
Well, it's because we didn't do like an online looking for random people. We had 5 of us. We all 5 had DSs.
It was tough.
We all 5 had Mario Kart.
Moving on to November 15th, Shadow the Hedgehog, Condemned Criminal Origins, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. How far those WWE games have fallen. Those used to be good.
Yes.
November 17th, 50 Cent, Bulletproof and Perfect Dark Zero, the long-awaited follow-up to Perfect Dark from the N64. Wow, November was just as busy. November 20th, Dragon Ball Z, Supersonic Warriors 2. I don't know which one that is.
That's the weird fighter 2D one.
Okay.
For the Game Boy Advance, yeah.
You know, they had a good Flash game on the Cartoon Network website at one point where you had the 4 corners and you that was a good game. They should do that. November 22nd, Geometry Wars Retro Evolved, which was also included, I believe, in a project Project Gotham Racing, one of them. Fun game. I enjoy Geometry Wars. It's a fun little turn your brain off and play it for like 20 minutes if you got 20 minutes to kill. November 27th, Dragon Quest 8. Was this the first Dragon Quest released as Square Enix? Or am I like getting my timeline completely fucked up?
No, I think you're right. I think it is the first one released under that Square Enix. No, it might be Squaresoft still at that point.
Might have to fact check that one. November 28th, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, another one of those Mario RPGs. And then we go down to Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones, released on November 30th. The end of that trilogy, which I thought The Two Thrones did some fun things that changed things up. It was kind of a nice mix of the first game and the second game. I think it just kind of came and went. It's crazy to me to think that happened and then like they went all in on Assassin's Creed. Speaking of Mario Strikers, the first one came out December 5th. I am going to click on this one. People love Mario playing soccer. Oh, there's DK back from his swing party.
It is not the first company.
It's not the first
no.
release.
Since of Square Enix, no. It was... I just had the list, sorry. It was Dragon Quest V for the PS2.
Oh, I was way off then. I was a whole generation off. All right, so then... December 12th, Final Fantasy IV Advanced, which is the one we know with Cecil, right?
Yep. So originally Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo, re-released as Final Fantasy IV in America and just about everywhere else. It was a Game Boy Advance version. It was really fun. They added a bunch of new content to it, upgraded graphics, of course. And honestly, it's probably the one I know the most that I don't have to look up a guide. I know everything of it.
Yeah, it is, like I remember being stuck as a kid, but now like I'd probably like blaze through it. Skipping down, December 20th, Peter Jackson's King Kong, which I thought was a great shooter. Like I say a lot of things about shooters, but that felt like a great shooter. It was a lot of fun. This last one
had all the original voice acting, didn't it?
I think so. I think Jack Black and everyone else on that cast was in the game. December 22nd, I'm going to click this link for you because I know this is...
I remember getting this the day it released, getting ready to play it, come to find out our PS2 broke.
Oh, yeah.
And you blamed me for it, even though I did nothing.
It's that damn Kingdom Hearts game he plugged in. It's Kingdom Hearts 2, if you're wondering what the game was.
I remember I had to wait a whole, I think I actually had to wait like 2 or 3 weeks before we get a replacement for me to actually play it.
It looks fine. I can't believe 3 just came out 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
It was 3 is what brought on the pandemic.
But honestly, I found the best part of the whole entire second game, the Thousand Heartless Battle. That's honestly just because it's it was so cool. As an adult now, I'm looking at it like, okay, it's okay because it wasn't that big of a deal. But as a kid playing it, I was like, it's you against 1,000 Heartless. That just sounds so cool.
This is awesome! I can't believe this is happening.
It's like every kid's dream come true. It's like the kid wanting to become Goku and go Super Saiyan and die with the planet. That was that.
And then finishing up the year, December 29th, Dead or Alive 4. You don't get a video for that, you creepos. Go watch it yourself.
Yeah, that's the last one. So
that was a long in the tooth, but are we ready for news?
Read all about it. Latest football scores. Morning paper. Morning Star. Paper, mister?
It's time for old news.
Let's knock the news out real quick.
Let's knock the news out. January 17th, Electronics Arts and ESPN announced a 15-year partnership that would give EA access to ESPN's broadcast, print, and online content. So that would have ended 2 years ago now.
Yep.
I mean, they had ESPN in Madden and other games, but it was just very
It was okay.
Both brands just kind of suck right now. March 6th, television show 60 Minutes tackles issues with video game controversy. Segment 60 Minutes has been criticized by video game players for encouraging video game censorship. I'm going to guess this is close to being around God of War, close to being around Hot Coffee, but I'm sure there's some other bullshit they were on at the time. Game Developers Conference, Nintendo keynote speech, Heart of the Gamer by Satoru Iwata. He's passed now, right? He's no longer of this world.
I believe that is correct.
Rest in peace, good sir. And then keynote from Microsoft, Future of Games, Unlocking the Opportunity by Jay Allard. March 24th, Sony releases PSP, which I just remember like the one way they were pitching it was like, get stealth on UMD. It's like nobody wants to watch that fucking movie.
No.
Oh, cat's back. May 1st, IBM held first virtual video game on-demand conference. Manufacturers were able to come together to discuss issues with online games, including management and distribution. Yeah. So
yeah,
online games are still very new. People are still figuring out best ways, best practices. I want to say Valve is probably like cooking something up at this point by now.
Oh, easily.
But we'll get to those later. Global version of MapleStory is launched. What is MapleStory? Oh my God, Ernie.
So I just don't know all of it. I just know it at one point became a mobile game.
Get down.
So I think at one point it used to be like a PC web browser game.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of branched off into like a mobile phone game. It's just a really big game that people play. That's all I know MapleStory of. And it's still to this day pretty big. Like they still have like conferences over it and stuff.
The very next day, May 12th, Xbox 360 officially announced on MTV. Special hosted by Elijah Wood. I forgot about that. I forgot it was MTV. May 16th, PlayStation is announced the PlayStation. I'm sorry, Sony announces PlayStation 3 during pre-E3 press conference. People went crazy for that one. The gameplay like melted people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. 11th annual E3 Expo takes place. Next gen consoles. This is probably like the first big E3 with next gen consoles. The first one that like was a mainstream thing. July 18th through the 22nd, Interactive Merchants Association hosts 6th annual executive summit. This cat, he's just all about me today, and I'm itchy. I hope I'm not allergic to him. Yeah, Rockstar got in more trouble for hot coffee. Yeah, July 20th. So that was a few months after God of War. Oh my God, I think I'm allergic to you, dude. Yeah, and they offered people a new version of the game. That was crazy. That was to be a kid at the time. You're like, oh my God, sex in a video game. Oh my God, people are talking about video games on the news.
I just still remember though, as a kid, hearing about that, and as a kid thinking, I couldn't buy it by myself. So, like. Clearly, it's the adults. I don't care what anybody says. They can sit there and try to argue with me that it's the gaming company's job to make sure it's safe. They do that by putting the M from mature on there.
No, movies had a very similar issue, but like dumbass parents are gonna be dumbass parents no matter what you do. You could like lock it up in a box and like say like the kids saw like something violent on the back of the box. Be like, oh, the video games are putting the violence on the box. Blah 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 blah.
Either way, parents are idiots. I will sit there and continue to argue with that the parents are the idiots. So,
ow. Tokyo Game Show takes September 16th through 18th. Tokyo Game Show happens. More keynote stuff. September 29th, Namco merges with Bandai. Thanks, Bandai Namco. They're still doing a lot of stuff. November 14th, Nintendo's first mainstream online service, Nintendo Wi-Fi, is launched with Mario Kart DS and Tony Hawk's American Skateland. 22nd, Microsoft releases Xbox 360 as a successor to the original Xbox. And then FIFA is introduced by Hillary Clinton, Joe Lieberman, and even Bae. The bill calls for federal mandates, enforcement of the ESRB rating system for video games in order to protect children from inappropriate content. And that was December 16th. Yeah, a whole lot of nada. Josh, if you are keeping one game and erasing one game from 2005, what are you doing?
Okay, so if I'm gonna keep one, I'm not gonna say Kingdom Hearts 2 because obviously that'd be an easy one. I would think out of all the games on that list, man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow. And I'm gonna get rid of Pokemon Dash.
Okay. I'm going to keep Geometry Wars Evolved because it is the purest video game I've ever played. And I'm getting rid of Kingdom Hearts 2.
You sick son of a bitch.
Buy Kingdom Hearts 2.
That's
all right.
Fine. Okay.
We're getting a little long in the tooth, but we've got a real quick quiz. Josh, what is the quiz?
Okay, so since we're getting to the point of new console releases, we're going to do a couple launch titles for the 360 for Nick. And then next episode, 2006, with the PS3 release, we're going to do launch titles for me. So I've got 5 games on here. I didn't put it on the quiz to keep Nick safe here, and I will make sure to re-add it in the notes so everybody can see it. But to start off, We're gonna do this in the kind of like a Jeopardy form. So I'm gonna kind of give him like a couple, like, a quick sentence of it, and he's gonna answer it in a form of a question. So we'll just start off. First person shooter that was another World War II setter.
Another World War II setter.
Yeah.
This was Call of Duty 2. How many? How many do I have to get right to pick the game that you do for speedrun?
You get 3 right because they're pretty easy.
Okay, and there's only 5, so
Yeah,
all right. First one's Call of Duty 2.
And you got that one.
Ding 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 ding.
Second one, you are framed for murder and must fight psychos.
This is condemned criminal origins.
That is correct. You're gonna get this one easily. The original Red Dead before it was cool.
Gun.
You pretty much got the 3, but we'll keep going. The prequel to another big game from Rare.
The prequel. It's not Grabbed by the Ghoulies. To another big game from Rare. Is it Cameo? Elements of Power?
Incorrect. It is Perfect Dark Zero.
Ah, shit.
And then, of course, the last one, based on the hit movie at the time.
King Kong.
That is correct.
4 out of 5, baby. All right, the game, Josh, that I am picking that you will be doing is... Ernie, what should we pick? He is scratching the hell out of me. All right, I want one confusing. I want it to be confusing as hell. So you're going to do Killer 7.
Okay.
So that's you heard it here first, folks. The next speed cap will be Killer 7 from Josh a week from today. Tune in for it because he's gonna lose. Because I got a pretty high score for Metal Gear Twin Snakes. I think it was like a 37. I don't know. I don't write them down. Not anymore. Josh, where can the people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Josh_saying and on Twitch at I'm Josh Saying.
Interesting. And you can find me on Twitter at That Kaufman, all one word, and on Twitch at NickFatKnight, also one word. This cat is so cuddly right now. We are smashing game times. We are smashing game time. As always, thanks to Alex Marvin Clark for his song that we use as our intro and outro. Hunt him down. It's a banger. Check out his other stuff. We have a link in the show notes. So, hey, we didn't go 2 hours like we did last time.
Yeah, and are we going to make a comment about a possible third person joining us, or are we saving that for next time?
We might have a special third person joining us for another episode, but we won't spoil who it is yet. We have to confirm with that person. But we'll keep in touch. We'll let you guys know. As for that, this is Smashing Game Time, everybody. We'll see you next time for the speed cap, everybody. I'm blanking on what I usually say to end the show. Well, we've had a smashing game time with you today. Keep on smashing those games all the time. Say bye, Josh.
We just lost all 15 viewers. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.